In math, 3/4 equals 6/8. In music, 3/4 does not equal to 6/8. Let's think about what this means. In both 3/4 and 6/8, you have 6/8 notes in one measure. If you didn't know, this is an eighth note. Now, here's the difference. In 3/4, this is how we feel the pulses. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and regardless of the tempo, it could be 1 and 2 and 3 and in 6/8, here's how we feel the beat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. More often, we would just count 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and so the difference between 3/4 versus 6/8 in music is the feel of the rhythm. The groove is different. In 3/4, we feel 3 beats per measure. In 6/8, we feel actually 2 beats per measure, not 6. Let me show how this translates in real music. Here is the traditional piece in 3/4. Three beats. Now pay attention to the eighth notes. When you look at the beam of the eighth notes, you can see that the beam is over 2 eighth notes. Now let me show you another music that's in 6/8. It's another traditional song. Let me count. 1 and a 2 and a 1 and a 2 and a 1 and a 2 and a 1 and a 2 and a. And you can see that the beams are over 3 eighth notes. That tells us, the beams tell us how the pulses are divided. This is something that people don't pay much attention to, especially if they're beginners. But when more advanced players look at the music, we can just see the beams, and the beams tell us the basic pulse of the music. Let's look at another example. Minuet in G by Bach. 3/4 again. And you can see the beams over 4 eighth notes. It can be over, it can be broken into like 2 and 2 as well. Or it can have over 4 eighth notes. You would play the same way. The main thing that you want to pay attention to is that these are divided by 2s and 4s. You know, that helps you to understand how the beats are felt. Like 2 and 3, 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. Let's look at another example. This is a tarantella, which is the kind of dance in Italy. It's 6/8. And again, pay attention to how the eighth notes are beamed. So it's 1 and a 2 and a 1 and a 2 and a 1 and a 2 and a 1 and a 2. It would be played faster than that, but I don't have to play fast to make this point. I want you to be able to hear the music and feel the music. And you can tell that the 6/8, especially in older music, are traditional dances. Tarantella was a dance, Also like Celtic music. Da, 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 da. These were dances because that kind of groove allowed people to be more joyful, jovial, and bouncy in their dancing. Let's look at another example. This is Beethoven's Sonata 3-4. Look at the eighth note beams here over the 2. Okay. And then here we actually have it over the 6. But 6 can also be divided by 2. So it's 1, 2, 3, 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and. If you're enjoying this video, you'll love my courses at Live Love Piano. Visit livelovepiano.com. We have another example of 6/8 here. It's a Moldau by Smetana. And I'm just going to actually start from measure 5, where you can hear the eighth note divisions in the left hand. Ba, 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 1 and a 2 and a 1 and a 2 and a. This is something that I talk about with my students regularly. When they have a piece that's 6/8, I ask them, what's the difference between 3/4 and 6/8? Because mathematically they're the same, right? But musically they're not the same. Music has more dimensions than math. Keep in mind that what I'm explaining today is a general understanding, and music is much bigger than that general law or understanding, that you're going to see different things happening depending on how composers want to interact with that time signature. If you are interested in this topic, I'm going to go one step further and talk about something that's, to me, is very interesting. And that's when you have 4 beats in a measure, but each beat is divided into 3 subdivisions. In that case, a composer can decide either to do 4/4 and use triplets. So it will be 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a. Or a composer can decide to do 12/8. And still, the eighth notes will be in groups of 3. And it will be still felt 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a. There's really almost no difference between this 4/4 versus 12/8. So it really depends on what the composer decides is the best way to write that music. And this happens a lot actually in blues. This is Big Easy Blues by Eugenie Rochereau, and this is notated as 4/4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. 3. 1 and a 2 and a 3. So we call this swing music when we have 3 subdivisions of each beat. So this is one way of writing blues music. In this example of Barnyard Blues by Christopher Norton, he actually uses 12/8. And the feel will be like pretty much the same. Da 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 da. But why did he choose to do 12/8 instead of using 4/4 with triplets? I think it's because it's just easier to read when you have more notes to be writing in 12/8. Let me play this for you. Two and three. So yeah, that's an example of where you can choose one or the other time signature. It's not just in blues music, it actually happens in other kind of music too. In this example of Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata, there's obvious three subbeats in a beat, in a pulse, like da 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 da. But the way he notated, it's not just 4/4, actually it's cut time, 2/2. So when we have a cut time, usually the music is faster because we want to feel two pulses in a measure. So 1, 2, 1, 2. And then the last example is Nuvole Bianche by Ludovico Einaudi. Now this is very interesting and a little bit funny because he starts with 4/4, but he goes into 12/8, which is basically the same feel of music, but it's almost like the beginning makes sense to read in 4/4. And then once you get into the body of the music, where you have more like da 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 da. 1, 2, 3. It's like that. So I'll just play the beginning. So 1, 2, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is where we start feeling 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1, 2, 3, 4. So I hope you enjoyed my amusing on time signatures. And this last part is just for fun for those of you who are into finding out and talking about things like this. But the main thing I want you to understand from this video is the difference between 3/4 versus 6/8, and really understand how that translates into the playing of music, because that's the most important thing. This is how music is not math. Music is more than math. Music is life. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.